Hi there. Last time we created this top part and also the windows in there. And there's also another way to create these windows without having to mess around with vertices, sliding and weird shading and that kind of stuff. And the way how you can also do it in an easy way is by using a texture. You cannot create the amount of detail you have around here, like extrusion and that kind of stuff, but from far off you can make it look like a window, and I'm going to show you how you can do that. So first I'm going to create just the top part like we did in the previous chapter. We're going to rotate it on the x-axis, gx. I'm going to do it a little bit faster because we've done this 15 times already. So dice 21, Q, mesh tools 360. We didn't apply the rotation and scale, so Q, twist 360. This looks about right. Q, sharpen, then going into edit mode. And I'm going to move them down a little bit. And an edge loop around here. Control A, rotation and scale. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a shader editor and a UV editor. And what I already created before is I created an image with the shape I want to have on this object. I created dot.jpg, and it's just a simple white form with a black dot. I used GIMP for it, but you can also use Paint or whatever tool you have to do this. So what I'm going to do is select all these, unwrap. Then I'm going to rotate this on 90 degrees. I'm going to move it around, scale it a bit. Doesn't really matter how you do this because you can also do it in a mapping node, but it's fairly easy. So I'm gonna do this. Then I'm gonna slide this over and I'm going to create a new material. To make it more visible, we're gonna go to viewport shading and I'm gonna change this color to whatever, green. What you now can do is add in a mix shader, connect these, and I can make a copy of the principled shader and connect this to here and make it, for instance, red. And you can now slide this factor around. To the right it's completely red, to the left it's completely green, and in the middle is just a mix. But I don't want this to happen. What I want to happen is that I'm going to use this texture as the factor to determine where it's going to be green and where it's going to be red. To do that, you can just, first you're going to need to go to the preferences and make sure you have Node Wrangler ticked. Then I'm going to select the principled BSDF and press Ctrl T. I'm going to move it around. And it's adding a image texture, a mapping node, and a texture coordinate. And I don't want these to be connected to the principled shader. I want them to be connected to the factor of the mix shader. Now I'm going to select the dot I created, and you can already see that the top one is mapped to the black circle and the red to the surrounding area. But I don't want this to happen. I want this to be a window. So I'm going to remove this one. I'm going to add in a transparent BSDF. Now you can see it's doing some weird stuff, and that's because we're in Eevee, so we've got to scroll down to the materials and go to the settings blend mode and change it to alpha clip. And now you can see it's a perfect window. If you now turn on all the modifiers. You can see, looks great, right? But now I'm going into edit mode, select all the top verts, gonna move them in, GY. And as we do that, you can see it's not a perfect circle anymore. So what we're gonna do is go into edit mode and add some extra loop cuts. Once we do that, you can see it's a perfect circle again. So that's a really easy way to also create the illusion of a window without having to do much with your topology or something like that. What's also nice, with the Ctrl T, it also added a mapping node. And if you now change the location, for instance the Y, you can move it around, or you can move it like this, or you can move the rotation. You can see, you can play around. You can just create any shape you'd like. So this is nice. Then I'm also going to add in a solidify modifier. Let's move it in, and I'm gonna select only rim. And yeah, this is a really easy way to create an illusion of a window and no shading issues. So there are some things you cannot do, so the extrusion and that kind of stuff, you have to solve them differently, but I think it's nice to know that you can do it like this. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.